Assalamualaikum candidates. Today we are going to discuss on uterine polyps. So now uterine polyps we discuss in a way that these are the mucosal outgrowths seen in the uterus and in the cervix. So these can either be pedunculated. You can see here there is a pedicle with the polyp and it is projecting into the endometrial cavity, and in some of the cases it is sessile. You can see here that this one is not having a pedicle, so it is basically a sessile polyp. And if you see this one, it is basically a cervical polyp which is protruding into the cervical opening and entering into the even entering into the vaginal opening. So these are the polyps of different types, and these are the locations. So what are the risk factors? These are either the older age or obesity, or in hypertensive patients, or in a patient who's taking hormonal replacement therapy, or estrogen for tamoxifen for breast cancer, or having a family history of Lynch syndrome. Now, what is the diagnostic modality? These are basically the mucosal outgrowths which are either located in the uterus or in the cervix. So definitely they are very soft, spongy, and they bleed to touch, and incidentally they can be seen on ultrasonography, or might be having symptoms like the patient presents with pain, or the bleeding. And also, while we are doing the pap smear, we can find it out. And also, one thing very important is that a patient who is having a polyp actually presents with the postcoital bleeding, because they're soft and spongy. So if the coitus is there, so they bleed to touch. So that is why she presents with the postcoital bleeding. So they can be seen on the transvaginal scan, and also they can be seen if we are going to do some hysteroscopy. And also, in if we are to go for the biopsy, then definitely this can be outlined. And the exact diagnosis that it is basically a polyp is made by doing the histopathological diagnosis. So by histopathological diagnosis, we distinguish that either it was a uterine fibroid or it is a polyp, because polyp is having the mucosal outlining, and fibroid is having the well defined capsule with the smooth muscle fibers in the whorl pattern. So the management recurrence rate regarding the polyp is basically 15 to 43%. And in the postmenopausal women, as we know that there is peripheral aromatization and conversion of androgens to estrone. So this is low quality estrone, and this in turn can lead to formation of endometrial polyps, and this patient might present with the postmenopausal bleeding. So ultimately, in this way, the we have said कि recurrence rate high है इनका, and also the uh, follow up is definitely important. And the Mirena can be used inside, because basically the Mirena is having levonorgestrel, and it causes atrophy of the endometrium, and in this way the risk of formation of the polyps is not there. So what is the point of management of the polyp? Now, as far as the polyp is concerned, definitely it is presenting with pain, with the postcoital bleeding, and an outgrowth is incidentally noticed. So we go for the polypectomy, and polypectomy is done along with the endometrial sampling. So it is sent for the histopathological diagnosis, and we have to consult the patient that recurrence risk is about 15 to 43%. So they can recur, and ultimately we have to see that either if the patient is having any source of estrogen in a way that she is put on HRT, or any other risk factor like diabetes, hypertension, or obesity. So the all risk factors have to be managed, and also we have to counsel the patient regarding the regarding the recurrence. And then and the exact management is polypectomy along with endometrial sampling. This was all about cervical polyps, and these are basically a cause of abnormal uterine bleeding. So I have told you that basically, as far as the polyps are concerned, they can be endometrial polyps, and also they can be the cervical polyps. And based upon their location, They can either be pedunculated having a pedicle, or they can be sessile having no pedicle. They are fixed, and they basically are responsible to cause abnormal uterine bleeding. As far as the cervical polyp is concerned, it can be seen while examination. We do the cervical examination, and by just putting the speculum, we can see the polyp protruding through the os. And as far as the endometrial polyps they are concerned, they can definitely not be seen on the routine examination. So they are generally seen on the transvaginal scan or by hysteroscopy. So they are of much importance if the patient is in postmenopausal age, because we are concerned about the risk of malignancy, and ultimately we have to go for resection by hysterosalpingo. By hysteroscopy, then endometrial polyps are to be resected. And if she wants, definitely at this age the patient is not in childbearing age, so hysterectomy can also be a plan in this case, because of the complaint of abnormal uterine bleeding, and keeping in mind that this has got a risk of recurrence of about 15 to 43%. So hysterectomy can be chosen in the patient who is having endometrial polyps in the postmenopausal age group. But if it is the cervical polyps are seen in the young age group, in the reproductive age group, then in that case we just go for the polypectomy along with endometrial curettage. And ultimately we have to also see the squamocolumnar junction of the cervix, and to see any changes, any dysplastic changes inside. So this was all about. Thank you.